Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest from the GFS, the GEM, the ECMWF, the GFS Ensembles, and we'll also have a look at the UKMO Run as well, along with the live radar and the weather warnings, as we do have a yellow rain warning put in force for tomorrow afternoon over the parts of eastern England, as we do have some very heavy rain potentially sparking up there tomorrow. We'll have a look in the long-range models at the potential of seeing some quite cool and stormy weather, as it does look like we're pretty certain now we're going to be seeing some polar maritime air mass take over the country, which is going to bring chilly, but a lot of low pressure and unsettled weather as well. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you do like and subscribe, and do remember to follow on Twitter as well, the links in the description. So we do have a look at the latest sort of the live radar. You can see at the moment we've got a lot of pretty dry weather, to be honest. We've got a few heavier showers sparking off across the Midlands, into parts of Wales and southwestern England, a few over northern England towards the Scottish borders, and then we have a weather front, quite a squally weather front with some very heavy, if not maybe thundery rain along its eastern front. As it heads through Northern Ireland and Ireland. Now, it's not this exact sort of band of rain that's going to be impacting the east tomorrow, but this sort of this weather front with its energy and instability is going to be sparking off the heavy showers tomorrow. And if we have a look at the UKMO run at the end, you'll see how those sort of bands of rain head up from the southwest over the course of tomorrow afternoon. But you can see more unsettled weather is going to be moving in. It does look like we're going to be seeing quite repeat pattern of bands of rain moving in from the west, and it does look like eastern areas are going to be favoured. Probably not tomorrow though, but generally eastern and southern areas will be favoured. Western and northern areas will have more rain and cloud. If we do have a look at the weather warning, you can see it's across sort of the Midlands into eastern England, missing far east of East Anglia, going through central England all the way up to sort of northeastern England. From midday tomorrow until midnight tomorrow, heavy showers may lead to localised flooding and disruption. Hasn't changed since yesterday, but again, 30 to 40 millimetres of rain could fall in a relatively short period of time, leading to surface water flooding and transport disruption. Again, high impact, low likelihood. So not all areas within the yellow warning are going to be seeing impactful rainfall. Well, likely most areas in the yellow warning will see some rain, but sort of the very heavy rain that would warrant a warning is unlikely to be in the whole area, but where it does occur within the area, it could be pretty high impact. So do keep an eye out for that tomorrow if you have got plans, and do keep an eye on the radar. And then stay tuned for the end of the video where I have a look at the short range UK Met Office, which will model it a lot better than the longer range models will. So we do now go have a look at the longer range forecast, having a look at the GFS. You can see the low pressure pushing in over the coming days, and that's going to bring that weather front through Sunday and heavier rain in the east. We do see a brief ridge of high pressure building for the south, and as I said, southern and eastern areas are always going to have the better weather. However, as we head through to the end of next week, you can see low pressure coming down from Greenland. We've just got this lobe of tropospheric polar vortex just sitting over Scandinavia and Iceland, and it's going to be driving cold air into the North Atlantic. You can see it's not very, very cold, of course, because it's the end of September, but it's a polar maritime air mass, basically where the air comes from the north into Maritimes, so the sea, and then heads towards the UK. So being a polar maritime air mass is always going to be a little bit corrected by the oceans, because of course no water really around the UK gets frozen, so it's always going to be above freezing. So it's going to warm up the sort of the surface level, but it makes the polar maritime air mass more more unstable. So we're more likely to see showers than a drier polar air mass coming in from the near continent. So we've got to keep an eye out for these different types of air masses, and of course the upper air temperatures do give us an indication of how cold it's going to be, and you can see pretty chilly air is going to be spreading in from the northwest. Different runs and different ensemble members have sort of different ideas of where we're going to see the 0 degree isotherm come through the whole country, or the -5 line even get towards Scotland, and of course the -5 line is generally what we need for seeing snowfall. But you can see by the latest GFS it's pretty far to our north towards Iceland and Greenland. In the longer term, as we head beyond 300 hours, you can see generally just more low pressure milling around. Periods of high pressure could be could sort of come to fruition in the south and potentially the east, but again, it doesn't look like it's going to be sustained at all with weather fronts, and you can see a warm sector right toward the end of the run is moving through as more low pressure does approach. So you can see it is going to be unsettled and pretty chilly, especially in the north or west at times. If we do have a look at the GM run, you can see we do again have a brief ridge building in early next week after rainfall this weekend, or early Sunday, and then we do have that polar maritime air mass takeover with northwesterly winds and with pretty chilly conditions right towards the end of the run. And it's because we've got this amplification, the jet stream, the high pressure building up towards Greenland, and it means the air is going to be diving southwards up from Greenland. And you can see pretty unsettled. The -10 line is getting into Iceland, so it's going to be very cold there, and likely to bring some of the first snow of the season for higher peaks in Iceland, and maybe even to low-lying areas at times. But for the UK, just generally unsettled and probably pretty chilly to the north and west. If we do have a look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare, you can see over the next few days, ridge in the south before very pretty stormy conditions take over. If we do have a look at the UK, we can't do that on the ECMWF, unfortunately, but you can see, looking at the UK, you can see very, very stormy there with northerly winds, feeling very chilly. And if we do have a look at the area 50 HPA temperature, we do have the United Kingdom for that, of course. And if we do zoom in, you can see really tight isobars getting down to around 970 HPA with direct northerly winds. These wobbles on the isobars, and that will be sort of areas of instability, heavy showers, and this would be producing very heavy snowfall if we were in about 3 months' time. But unfortunately, we're not, and it would just generally be cold rain. If we go back to the European outlook, you can see generally, though, more unsettled weather takes over. And again, we've got that ridge in the Atlantic forcing the jet stream up and southwards. And what it does is it mixes in the very cold air towards Greenland and the warmer air from sort of Spain, and it spins up these low pressures over the top of the UK. And it means we're going to be having cool and unsettled conditions at times. There will potentially be some dry weather, especially in the south, as I said earlier. But again, it does look like the weather fronts will be spreading eastwards, even when we do have high pressure trying to hold on in the southeast. So if we do finally have a look at the GFS Ensembles, we'll have a look at London first. You can see over the next few days, temperature is going to be around maybe a smidge above average, and you can see on Sunday we're going to have heavy rainfall as well. You can see as we head into the sort of in about a week's time, you see there is a lot of uncertainty in the temperatures, but you can see the majority are going quite chilly. It's a little bit warmer than we saw in Ensembles yesterday, but generally most around the average of them are about a degree or two below sort of the 1981 to 2010 mean for this time of year. And some going quite chilly, getting down to sort of -2, -3 degrees at 850 HPA, which would be really quite cold for this time of year. Unsettled as well, with a lot of rainfall spikes, symbolic of this northwesterly, if not northerly, sort of low pressure flow. So if you have a look at Glasgow now, you can see over the coming days we've been variable temperatures up and down, and with some more precipitation overnight tonight into tomorrow as that weather front spreads eastwards. But then you can see in about 4 or 5 days' time we're going to be dropping those temperatures down to a good 2 degrees below average, some even going much colder than that, some even getting close to -5 degrees at 850 HPA with a lot of unsettled weather, and this would be giving pretty chilly and unsettled conditions, looking pretty autumnal and maybe even feeling a little bit wintry with some chillier weather and maybe some frosts here or there as well in a few areas as well for the end of September and the start of October. So do make sure whenever we do get some decent weather over the coming days, you go out and enjoy it. As I keep saying in these videos, we are edging closer towards real autumn, and eventually we'll be into winter where we only have sort of 8-hour days or 8 hours of sunlight in a day, feeling pretty chilly as well, with max temperatures struggling into the high single digits. So we're not too far away from that, so make sure you go enjoy the conditions where we do see sort of 20 degrees here or there. So if we do finally have a look at the UK Met Office run, we'll have a look at precipitation first, and you can see the heavy rain on the weather front moving in from the east at the moment. It does fizzle away initially, but then we see that energy sort of replenishing showers that are heading up from the southwest through tonight and into tomorrow. You can see the heavy rain breaking out in the east. Again, you can see it is pretty squally, where it's heavier in sort of areas and other areas seeing very little rain. And as I said, only some areas within the yellow warning zone will be seeing the very, very heavy rain. And again, have to keep an eye on the radar and if there are any subsequent changes to the weather warnings. If If we do move beyond that, you can see generally those showers do fizzle away, and then we do have more weather fronts moving through early next week, and that sort of cool northwesterly polar maritime air mass bringing very moist air and heavy showers in from the northwest. If we do have a look at the temperatures, you can see this afternoon we got up to around 23 degrees, potentially in a few spots, feeling really quite pleasant out there in the sunshine. Definitely where I am, we've had decent enough weather to be out in t-shirt and shorts, to be honest, which is pretty decent for the middle to end of September. For Sunday, you can see temperatures are going to be getting to maybe 23 degrees in the far east before the heavy rain spreads in, but then it does look like it's going to be turning cool for pretty much all. By Monday afternoon, we could be seeing temperatures maybe getting up to maybe 19, 20 degrees, but again, we'll be struggling in other areas where we have rain and cloud. By Tuesday afternoon, you can see still temperatures maybe 19, 20 degrees in the far southeast, but slowly cooler air is going to be heading in from the northwest. And you can see by Wednesday afternoon a big contrast as that weather front sweeps through. You can see in the far southeast maybe 20 degrees, we still have some sort of summery weather, where Scotland struggling into sort of the low double digits, maybe only 7, 8, 9 degrees over the mountains and in city centres, and low-lying areas, maybe only 14, 15 degrees, feeling chillier than that as well. In the rain and the northwesterly breeze, before it does spread through that colder air for all by Thursday, and you can see over Scotland, most areas down into single digits, some even into low single digits, maybe an overnight frost here or there. So you can see colder air is coming, so do make sure you go out and enjoy the limited warm weather we do have over the next few days. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.